Today we're starting 1.2, solving equations by adding or subtracting. The main objective today is going to be solving one-step equations that have one variable by using addition. Addition can also be changed into subtraction. First vocab word is an equation. An equation is a mathematical statement that two expressions are equal. The difference between an expression and an equation is that equal sign. It's an expression that is equal to something else. And the solution is just something that makes it true. The value for that variable that makes it true. To find the solutions, we're going to isolate the variable, get the variable by itself. To isolate a variable by using, we're going to use the inverse operations, which are the undo operations. An equation is like a giant scale. We want to balance it. In order to get rid of something that has addition, what is the opposite of addition? The opposite of addition is subtraction. What's the opposite of subtraction? Addition. Here's an example. We have y minus 8 equals 24. Whenever we're solving equations, first thing we want to do is find the variable. Now, this equal sign is like a giant wall. It cuts the problem into two pieces. There's a left half and a right half. I know that this piece right here has to equal 24 to keep it balanced. But the thing is, I don't know how big y is. What side of my scale or my balance or my wall is my variable? It's on the left-hand side. It's right here. What else is over there with it? Not just an 8. What does it say there? Okay, so minus 8, or you could even think of negative 8, because minus and negative are the same thing, and addition and subtraction are opposites. What's the opposite of a minus 8 or a negative 8? So I'm going to add 8 here. Now, to keep my scale balanced, whatever I do on this side, I have to do on the other side. Nothing happens to the y. Comes straight down. Negative 8, positive 8, simplifies out. Equals. What's 24 plus 8? 32. So y has to equal 32. Now checking our work. 32 minus 8, 24. I know I'm correct. I checked my work. I know that this answer is correct. I should get full credit for showing my work. Here's this problem. 5/16 equals z minus 7/16. All right. Find my equal sign. That's my wall. Now, once I've made my wall, what side of my wall is my variable on? It's on the right-hand side. It doesn't matter what your variable is. It can be any letter you want. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, blah, 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 whatever you want. There's just a couple variables we usually don't use. What variables might that be? X is used a lot in algebra. What variables do you think we try to stay away from? T, if we do, we usually put a little curve on the end so it doesn't look like a plus. But yeah, you have to be careful with a T. O. What does an O look like? 0. And it's very hard to tell the difference between the two. unless you put the little curly Q on top, but no. You got to worry about the ones that sort of look like numbers.
11. I mean, L.
L. If we use an L, we usually use a cursive lowercase or a cursive uppercase. Because if you just made an L, same thing with an I, it looks like a 1. You got to be careful. If you're going to use an I, it needs to be the cursive. Especially with this letter. If you write it as sloppy as I do, what does it look like? Looks like a 5. That's usually why I use a cursive S, which for me, my cursive S's are horrible. I don't use cursive S's. I avoid them. Variables are interchangeable. You don't like the letter Z? Change it to whatever you want. Then you just give it a description. Let Z be whatever. But for these problems, it's not going to change anything about the answer if I change that to a T. Variables on the right-hand side. What's over there with my variable? Negative 7/16. How do I get rid of a minus 7/16 or negative 7/16? Add to both sides 7/16. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. 5/16, 7/16. What's nice about this fraction? The denominator is the same. When the denominators are the same, you just add the top numbers. What is 5 and 7? 12/16. Well, I don't know. Okay, Z. I cross my Z's because they have a tendency to look like 2's. Negative 7/16, positive 7/16, gone. I have 12/16 equals Z. What can you tell me? This right here can be simplified to what? 3/4. You need to simplify these as much as possible. That's your answer. Z is 3/4. Notice how I'm circling my answers. When you do your homework, if you circle your answers, it's easier for you to go back and see what you're doing. You know where your final spot is. Now to check my work, I'll use the calculator to help me check. And I'm just going to worry about this piece right here. 3/4 minus 7/16. All right, I got a decimal. Okay, some of you know how to use this calculator. To change from a decimal to a fraction, there's all these buttons here. Below the green one's a math button. If I press that one, there's all these different options. The arrow frac means it will change it to a fraction. If I press enter, it now says ANS. It will take your previous answer and change it to a fraction. 5/16. The other option you could have done is take 5/16 and change it to a decimal. They match, we're good. How do we feel? Try this one on your own. Some people will draw the wall, some people will not. This is up to you. What side is my variable on? The left. I circle it just so I know where it's at. What else is over there with it? Negative 3.2. How do I get rid of a negative 3.2? Add 3.2. And notice how I'm putting the plus underneath both of them. That way I don't forget what operation I'm doing also. N, negative 3.2, positive 3.2, gone. Equals. Now, what's the main thing I have to worry about with decimals? The decimals need to be lined up. It's nice on this one, I have 5.6 and 3.2. 6 and 2 is 8. 5 and 3 is, my answer is 8.8. Circle it, that's my work. Now the checking is not something you put on your paper, it's just in your calculator. 8.8 minus 3.2. I know I'm correct, I know I'm getting full credit. I know I'm getting full credit because I did show the correct work and I got the correct answer. Just by having the correct answer doesn't mean you're getting full credit though. Try this one. Draw my wall. What side's the variable on? Right-hand side. What else is over there with that variable? Negative 6. How do I get rid of a negative 6? Plus 6. Plus 6. Plus 6. What's negative 6 and positive 6? 0. Equal still means equal. K still means K. Negative 6, positive 6 is 0. That's simplified out. So K is 0. Yeah, okay. 0 minus 6 gets me negative 6. Let's try this one. Draw my wall. What side is my variable on? It's on the right-hand side. What else is over there with it? Plus 1.8. Now, how do I get rid of a positive 1.8 or a plus 1.8? I subtract or make it a negative. They're the same thing. That's what makes this problem different from the last one. Negative 1.8. Gone. T equals. Okay, I have my decimals. They're lined up. What do I have to do in order to solve? Can I just go straight down? What do I have to do? Borrow from the 4, make it a 3, make the 2 a 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. 3 minus 1 is 2. My answer is 2.4. Double check to make sure I'm correct. 2.4 plus 1.8. 4.2 is my answer. Questions? All right. For this one, we draw the wall. The variable's on the right-hand side. Now, this helps you because if you know it's on the right-hand side, I need to move everything else away from it. How do I get rid of a plus 5? Minus 5. Minus 5. Positive 5, negative 5 is gone. K equals. What's a negative 5 and a negative 5? If you borrow $5 and you borrow 5 more, you borrowed $10, negative 10. This is one you have to be careful of. I see a lot of people that will write positive 10, and then I will see a lot of people that put 0. Draw the wall. What side is the variable on? It's on the left-hand side. I have a negative 5/11. How do I move a negative 5/11? Add 5/11. Add 5/11. P equals. We already have common denominators, so we're fine. What's a negative 2/11 and a positive 5/11? What's a negative 2 and a positive 5? 3/11. That's not a negative. My pen just touched. We can check our work. Your homework is